Hey guys, this is Vinny over at Richfield Auto Center, and today I'm going to show you how to diagnose a EVAP leak on a '07 Impala. This is actually going to work for a lot of different GMs. Vent valves go bad all the time. It's probably the number 2 thing we replace next to gas caps. So you can use this on, this Impala. You're going to be able to use this on your Malibu, a lot of the pickup trucks, the G vans. They're pretty much all the same. So let's go ahead and show you how we do it. Okay, so here's the wiring to the vent valve. What we're going to do is we're going to take the power probe and check the power side of the circuit, because this is a constant power feed circuit and it's ground side switched by the PCM. So if we check one of these wires, it'll tell us right on the power probe if we have 12 volts. So I'm going to shut the volume off, and you see it's got 12 volts. This is kind of better than using a test light, because a test light is just going to light up whether it's got 10 or 11 volts, and you're not going to know how your wiring integrity is all the way back to the vent solenoid. So now we know we have power here, and we know that this looks like a white wire is going to be ground sided switched by the PCM. So what I'm going to do now is use the power probe and command the vent valve on using the power probe, because if you don't have a scan tool with bidirectional controls, it's a little more difficult to ground it. I mean, you could take a jumper wire and ground it, but we're gonna pierce this wire and then repair it after we pierce it, so we don't get any corrosion in there. So what we're gonna do is ground this. Since we know we have power going to it, if we apply a ground with the power probe, you should listen for a click. And you should be able to feel the vent valve turning on and off, because it's a spring-loaded valve. And right now we don't feel anything. So we're going to suspect that the vent valve is no good. What we can do also is try tapping on it with a hammer and seeing if it moves. So we're going to see. Let me grab a hammer. And we're going to try to give it a whack. This valve is completely dead. Okay, so if we go over to the scan tool, bring that over here, buddy. The scan tool's got a code 455. It's an EVAP, large leak detected. It's kind of hard to see. Don't worry about the code above it. That's because we unplugged the vent solenoid. So we have a large leak detected. If your vent valve is stuck open, the system can't pressurize, and it's going to throw a code for a large leak. So as of right now, before we smoke test it, we can pretty much assume that the vent valve is going to be bad, because it's not clicking or making any sound. So we're going to go ahead and just put a vent valve in it. That's the quick method to doing this. Okay, so now we put the new vent solenoid in. We just have it hanging by the wiring just so we can show you guys easier. So now we're back on that white ground wire, and you're going to see that you have 12 volts. That's because this red wire with a white stripe has power going to it. So the circuit is now completed on this side. So you're going to have power, but you're not going to have ground. So that's why you're going to see that. But when we ground the wire, we're basically doing what the PCM would do and ground the circuit. So you're going to hear an audible click that the vent valve is actually working. Before it didn't do that. So now we're going to button it up, we're going to put it on the ground, we're going to smoke test the system and seal it, and then we can show you that this is going to be a fix. Okay, now so we replaced that vent valve, we've got the smoke machine hooked up to it, so we can verify that we fixed this thing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the scan tool. I know it's going to be a little hard to see. And then we're going to go to output controls. And we're going to go down to the vent solenoid. And we're going to close the vent solenoid. Closed. And what we're going to look for on the smoke machine is we're going to look for it to start dropping. So if you can see it, it does take a little while depending on how much fuel is in the system. Empty gas tanks, they got to fill up with smoke a little more before it starts coming down. And as you can see, that little ball is dropping. So if this thing did have a leak and the system was wide open, like a large leak, it's not going to go down to 10,000ths. So it'll eventually get there. It does take a little while. Sometimes the balls actually get stuck on the meter, and I've seen them before where they don't go all the way down to 0, but the system is sealed. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and call this one a fix and give it back to the customer. So if this helped you out at all, go ahead and give us a like, and we're going to try to make more of these videos for you.